moving day. Okay, so the whole move-in process took all of 10 or 15 minutes or so. It's pretty easy. I don't really have a whole lot of stuff. It all fits in here really nicely, though. I actually still have a little bit of extra storage space, too, below the bed and in a few other places, so eventually I'll probably fill it all up, but who knows? I mean, at this point, I don't really need all the space that I have. My plan is to get on the road later this evening or first thing tomorrow morning. I pretty much have only 48 hours or less than 48 hours to get to San Diego right now, and it's an 18-hour drive, so I'm definitely pushing it a little bit. It's going to be a crazy day of driving tomorrow. Today, I've just been kind of cleaning up, getting everything ready for the road, and trying to clean up the giant mess that I made in my friend's backyard over the past month. Sawdust everywhere, tools, all kind of stuff. So just trying to get everything taken care of before I leave here. Thank you again, Anish and Adrian, for allowing me to stay in the backyard here and to work on this van and build out this van over the past month. I can't thank you guys enough for what you did for me. So I know in the last video I finished doing the carpet lining along the walls and the insulation in the walls as well. That was shot yesterday, and then last night was the first night that I got to sleep in here with the actual insulation on there, and I gotta say, it made a real difference. I drove it around a little bit. It was substantially quieter. There was no squeaking or no sounds or anything like that, so that was an added benefit. And then last night, sleeping in it, it was probably about 31 degrees or so outside, and I slept much better than I had the previous nights before that, where it was the same temperature and I didn't have any insulation on the walls. So even just having it on the walls without the doors was really helpful. The doors, what I did today is I kind of just stuffed as much of the leftover Thinsulate stuff into the doors as I could. It was pretty difficult because they're not really easy to remove. That little liner that's on there, this little thing right here, it's not the easiest thing to get off. So I just did it on this door and kind of gave up after that. But what I also did was make this little cutout here using some of the leftover pink XPS insulation that I had, and that fits nicely right in here. What I'm going to do is line that with the carpet liner that I used for the walls, and then get some really strong magnets and use it just to stick it up to the metal. Probably going to be doing that though after the sun goes down. I have about another 20 minutes of daylight left, and I got to finish cleaning everything up. So I made a pretty big mistake. I messed something up pretty badly here, guys, and those of you who have been following along the NV200 build, the camper conversion that I've been doing for the past month here, will know that I've kind of been rushing around quite a bit over the last week or so, trying to get everything ready to go and trying to get everything ready to hit the road. And I know I mentioned just a minute ago in this video that my plan was to drive today 18 hours to San Diego, and the reason that I was doing that, I know I mentioned it in a previous video. One of my really good friends from Massachusetts is taking a vacation out there. He's taking a trip. He's flying across the country alone. He asked me to meet him out there to hang out for a few days, and then my plan was to immediately head to Northern California after that so that I could make the pop-top installation that I've been scheduled for the third week of March and get that done in Northern California. And I apparently am not very good at calendars. I called my friend yesterday just to check in. I wanted to see what time his flight was getting in because I'm planning to pick him up at the airport and all that. And I found out that he is actually not going to California for that little vacation for another week. He's not going until next weekend. So I have been rushing around like a crazy person, trying to get the van conversion done, trying to sell the Element, trying to do everything that I need to do, tie everything up so that I can hit the road. And I've been doing that all for absolutely no reason. There was no reason for it at all. And he is going to be there next weekend. And fortunately, I was able to get everything straightened out with GTRV. I'm going to be able to just show up a couple of days late, and they're going to be able to do the pop top and everything like that. So that's good. And I'm just going to, now I just have a little bit more time. So I guess the mistake was a problem when I found out about it last night. I was kind of panicking and freaking out a little bit, but now I realize that I think it's more than anything, it's a blessing in disguise. I have found a buyer for the Element, and now this gives her time to be able to fly in. She's coming in from the Pacific Northwest, and she's going to be able to pick it up on Tuesday, and hopefully everything will go well with that, and that'll be done, and I'll be able to be here so that I can get it sold. This is going to be a lot easier, so by the end of this video, hopefully the Element will be sold and everything like that, and then I will be ready to hit the road. And it also gives me a little bit of time to make some changes to the camper conversion as well. The shelving system in particular is something that I want to work on. The lower shelf right now, what I've been doing for the last few years is basically just living out of a backpack. I put all of my clothes into one backpack and it fits in there pretty nicely, but the issue is, like, if I need to grab like a change of underwear or some like socks or something like that, it's really, really hard to get into the backpack. I have to take all the packing cubes out and empty it all out, and then I gotta put it all back in, and it's a pain. And I did laundry this morning, and it's also a pain to put my laundry away and stuff like that. So what I want to do is just make a little shelf going along the top of the bottom shelf area, and that's where I'm going to keep my clothes and just be able to stuff my clothes in there nice and organized. I roll everything up and put them in there. So I'm going to try to do that. It's a beautiful day this afternoon, and I'm going to try to tackle that project right now. Pretty simple solution, nothing too crazy. Obviously it is bent a little bit here. It's not meant to be sat on or anything like that, but just for stuffing some clothes in there, I think it'll work out pretty well. And then there's the added benefit now, which I didn't even realize, but it's kind of nice that it's higher. The clothes are higher up, so when I'm sitting in bed, I'll be able to pull the clothes out and put them back in. Before, I was having to put the bed up into Murphy mode in order to access my clothes in the backpack underneath. Today's the day, guys. The new owner of the Element should be here any minute now to pick it up. So it is now the next morning, and the Element is officially sold. I gotta say, it was definitely a bit of a weird feeling watching the new owner drive off into the distance with it, but at the same time, it was a little bit of a relief. It kind of felt good. I've been trying to sell it for a little while, and you know, that's kind of really the only thing that was keeping me here in San Antonio, was the fact that I had two vehicles and I was paying insurance on two vehicles, which was a little bit of a pain. So it's kind of nice to now just have one house instead of two houses and to be able to hit the road. And that's exactly what I'm going to do later today. And I'm really excited for the new owner too. She was super stoked. She was really awesome. And she's going to actually use it to travel as well. She's going to take a road trip in a couple of days and head up to the Northwest, back where she flew in from a few days before that, and it should be pretty cool. I think she's going to really enjoy it, and I'm really excited for her as well. So I think it worked out all in the end, guys. You know, the fact that I kind of messed up my schedule and got stuck here for a little bit longer than I had originally anticipated, I think that in the end, my mistake was beneficial, and it worked out. And now I am finally free. Like I said, I'm relieved. I have this like huge weight lifted off my shoulders, and I can hit the open road. It was also pretty nice to be able to kind of take it easy for a few days and get everything tied up before leaving. Got to hang out with my friend Oddish, and we went and played mini golf, which was really, really awesome. That mini golf course has got to be one of the cooler courses I've ever seen. I've been pretty lucky to see a lot of really cool mini golf courses in my day, but that one was really kind of just like a competitive mini golf course, if that makes sense. There were actually 2 hole courses, and they actually had pins. It's the first time I've ever seen that. There were actual like flag sticks that you had to pull out and put back in when you were putting and stuff. So it was the real deal, and Oddish and I get a little bit competitive at times, so it definitely fit exactly what we were looking for, and it was a lot of fun. Thank you again to Oddish and Adrian for everything that you did for me over the past month here in San Antonio, and I also have a few new Patreon pledges to thank as well. Dr. Penny E. Busilla, Jaime Herrera, and Andy, thank you guys so much for joining the Patreon team. Your support will keep this journey alive. I'll talk to y'all in the next video.